friends, welcome to or welcome back to the channel Jane Reads. My name is Jeanette and today I am kicking off the start of this video, my Reading, Rambling, and Real Life series. Today is Monday, February the 2nd, Groundhog Day, and our groundhog for Ontario made me very happy today. He did not see a shadow, so he predicted an early spring. But really, I mean, what do the rodents know? I just know we have a ton of snow outside. It was starting to snow as I came home from work today, so I don't have a lot of faith in an early spring, but the idea of it is really, really good. So it is the evening now. As I said, I worked today. We had supper. I had chicken and gravy in the slow cooker. So then I just need to make some mashed potatoes, and Andrew made the veg. And we always kind of really tag team meals, which is great. It works out really well. And yeah, now I watched a couple YouTube videos this evening. I did a little bit of reading. Then I came over to my computer and worked on my video that's going up on Wednesday. I've got it all scheduled to go up. Well, it's uploading right now to YouTube. It will be up. I also scheduled my sprints for tomorrow night. And yeah, I'm gonna work on some more video ideas. I need to get, I'm hoping maybe get Saturday's video filmed, or at least the idea of it ready to film it later in the week. We'll see. I don't know how energetic I am right at this moment in time, if I really feel like filming or not. For reading wise, I started Indigo Isle by T.I. Lowe this morning. I have this book on audio and physically. So I started on audio, and then I've read 2 chapters tonight. Yeah, 2 chapters, because I only got 2 chapters done this morning. So I've read 4 chapters now, and I really don't know a lot going into this book, other than I'd heard it was a Beauty and Beast retelling, which I heard very, very recently, so that's why it ended up on my February TBR. And other than that, I didn't really know a lot about Sunny had left South Carolina years ago to go to Hollywood. She ended up as a location scout, and now she's back at South Carolina. And that's pretty much all I really know going into it. And as of right now, the 4 chapters in, I know that much as well. But I'm liking Sunny, and she has discovered Indigo Isle, which is a little island, and kind of there's rumors about this island being haunted, or somebody living on it who's kind of a recluse has hidden away for 10 years because of some accident happened and possible scars or something. So I think that's where the beast part comes into it. But we have seen Sunny find the island and discover a house on it, a mansion probably. But that's all we really know right now. So I'm going to keep reading to see. She is at the part where they are just, she scouted this location, like in South Carolina that they're at. They're around Charleston. And now they are starting to shoot. But at that point in time, like the crew has just arrived to start. That's all. I haven't gotten very far at all. I'm on page 50. So I'm 50 pages into the book. Did it start on page 1? I'm curious, because a lot of times they don't. Oh, it did. And since I'm on page 1, the very first line is, oh, so this is how it feels to be near death and utterly alone. Interesting. So yeah, so that's what I'm reading right now. I will check in later in the week to let you know how it's going. Well, it is Tuesday evening and I'm doing sprints on my channel right now, and I am reading Indigo Isle by T.I. Lowe. I have made progress. I am on chapter 14, page 152. And I was not liking Sunny at the beginning of the book. She just kind of annoyed me a bit. And then now we found out something and she's reacted different or kind of more about her and stuff, and I'm like, I'm feeling for her right now. Like, wow, this is taking me through various emotions so far. And so yeah, that's my update right now. Well, it is later on Tuesday evening now, and I've just signed off of sprints, so it's about 11:15, and I'm going to head to bed. But I just thought I would update you on my thoughts on this book. As I said earlier, I was not liking Sunny at the beginning. She was just really kind of annoying me. But then something happened, and it made me kind of feel for her in the situation she's in. And then as we kind of follow and meet more characters, I'm really drawn into the book. And there are being some difficult stuff that's happened or talked about throughout it. So there will definitely be some triggers for some people in this book, but there are some good stuff that have made me laugh and taught me things. Like I've learned about harvesting indigo and how the fermenting process works and stuff. So that's interesting. There's been a couple of fun comments, interactions between a couple people. There was a conversation about the book 1984. Let me see if I can find it. And it was really funny because during sprints, we were talking about DNFing and stuff, and they have a whole conversation about, here we go. Okay, so the one person notices that the other person is reading and asks what book, and notices that it's 1984 by George Orwell. Then they said, is this book any good? The person responds and says, no. Why not? Gives me the creeps. Then why read it? I can't not finish it. Oh, you're one of those readers. I'm the opposite. If I ever get the chance to actually read, I give the book 3 chapters. If it hasn't grabbed me by that point, I move on to something else. That would drive me crazy, leaving something incomplete. That's me. I agree with that person. Well, is there anything that you like about the book? It's short. And then I just, during a kind of a fun fact sharing that they were having, yeah, here we go. So, fun fact. Random fact. No number from 1 to 999 has the letter A in its word form. Not until the thousands is an A used. And then when I read that, I started thinking, okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, like, and then I just randomly picked, 55, 57. None of them have A's. From 1 to 999. It's not until the word thousand is used that the A shows up. I mean, like, A is a pretty common letter, I would think. But yeah, that was funny. And then they got talking about like colors of stop signs and street signs and just random facts. So I've been entertained in addition to some of the heavy stuff. So I have made it to chapter 19, page 227. So I'm just over halfway, maybe 60%. I don't know, it's hard to tell. When I open my audiobook, it will tell me my percentage exactly. So we'll see. So I'm going to continue this one tomorrow. And I just saw a picture at the back and I wondered, but it's just a thank you. So yeah, I'm going to continue this one tomorrow and I will let you know my thoughts. Well, it is Wednesday after work now, and I thought I'd rush home and try to film a wrap-up video while Andrew's at his massage appointment. So I have 1 hour to get this filmed. I come home, I look at my cell phone, and I'm at 37%. I was like, oh, okay, well, I'll just use my other phone that I prefer to use for recording anyways. I go to turn it on, and I must have left it on because it was completely dead. And I was like, okay, hopefully the 37% holds out to film the video. So that's what I'm going to try to do, is try to get this done before Andrew gets home so that I don't have to film tonight. we'll see how it goes. I will check back in. I did it. I got it filmed and Andrew's not home yet. Yay. And so now I'm going to work on updating my notes inside the book. Oh, I already did this one. I know I haven't done it for all of them. So I put inside the book, right, when I purchased it, and now I will write a note that I read it January of 2026 and a brief thought and what I rated it. But that one's already done. Oh, I guess this is book 2. I haven't not done it on this. So I need to go through the stack of the books that I read and write it on, make my notes, and then find room on the shelves. And then I just realized the 2 books that I hauled earlier in the month, I have not put a sticky note in them to say when I got them. So I need to do that as well. Normally I do it as soon as I come in. And the 2 books that I'm unhauling for the month, I will just take out. Can't do it with 2 books in my hand. I will just take out the sticking out and throw it away. I know it's a little bit of a waste for the ones, but otherwise I wouldn't know when I read them, right? Or when I purchased them. So I mean, if I'm only, ooh, I've never had it take paper before. It's only a couple, right? And then I mean, I could just use them for scrap paper. Actually, I might do that because I do that every once in a while. Okay, so that's what I need to do. Try to put these on the shelves. So the 5-star reads, these 3 are going to replace the 5-star reads that are here. So they all just move. But the book I finished last, I'm concerned. Oh, I didn't think it would fit. Let's bring you a little closer. I was concerned it wasn't going to fit there. It barely fits there. Okay, which one did I read? I'll do next. I guess we're sticking with the Christmas one for now. Okay, so now I need to make room on my shelves for these guys. And, well, Whitmire is going to be the easiest because that's where I have room. You're not even going to see it. Right on the line. So we got series. There we go. for Camden? Probably not. And I know that I have 2 of them. So I'm going to have a gap here. You can't even see that. I'm going to have a gap. Oh, actually, why don't I do this? And that's not as obvious. So then this is all Madisyn. Yeah, that's all the Madisyn books I own. Like, wow. Considering... Oh, you can't see that. Considering from here, Cape Refuge, which is the double book, all the way to Catching Christmas is Terry Blackstock. And yet I only own this in Madisyn. Okay, I still have a couple books. We have Rachel Scott McDaniel and Michelle Shockley. So McDaniel comes first. That one is easy. Except for the fact alphabetical. That one was easy. Michelle Shockley. You didn't even see that. It went there. Women of Oak Ridge. I just had to move a book over here. No big deal. And the easiest pile will be the 2 arcs that need to go on my unread shelf. So we've got Contemporary, which is here, and Historical. Wait, where's the other books that go with this series? Oh, they're there. Wow. But like, look at that. This is like a printed final copy. This is the art copy. Like you can, I mean, I don't know. You can see the color difference for sure, but you can see the thickness difference. I'd almost want all arcs so that it fits on the shelves better. I could get more books on the shelves if they were all arcs, right? I mean, arcs aren't as easy to read for one thing though. But, and I do have the 4th book, which is actually book 1, because this is, yeah, 2, 3, but it's at the bottom of that pile that you can't even see. So we're just going to stick them on there for now. So it is Thursday after work, and Andrew and I just made a stop over at Giant Tiger, which is a Canadian chain with food and clothes, and I'll show you what I got. They had some good sales on some freezer stuff. So, tater tots. Andrew could take them out of the bag. What is it? Scalloped potatoes with ham. So throw it in the oven. Some garlic Texas toast. Some salad. This was an amazing deal. $2, normally $5. Well, you can't do that if you don't want to show your face. Wow, that looks huge. I picked up this sweater. $18, not bad. shepherd's pie, and chicken pot pie from Swiss Chalet, which is also a Canadian restaurant. That's it. Andrew didn't want to show his face, but he was holding the sweater up like, you know, like you would to display it on your body. And that's why I said that if you don't want to show your face, you can't do that. Well, it is now Thursday evening, and I thought I would check in because last night I finished Indigo Isle by T.I. Lowe. I also painted my nails during Lucy's sprints last night. I was going to say M, but I have her sprints on right now. And I used the Essie, and this one is Into the Abyss. I thought pink for Valentine's Day next weekend just felt appropriate. What else did I want to update you on? Oh, yes. So I got a comment on one of my videos asking me about the lipstick that I bought a while back, which was the Maybelline Super Stay, the On the Grind shade, and it's what I'm wearing today. So they asked, do I like it? Is it too dark? I don't feel like it's too dark. I really like it, but I think if you would put a lip gloss on top of it, it would be really pretty. But I don't have one currently on. I have one. It's upstairs with my makeup in the bedroom where my husband's sleeping. But yeah. And the other question that the subscriber asked was, what do we normally eat for lunch? So normally during the week, we pack lunches for work, and Andrew is awesome at doing it. He comes home right after he gets home from work, he starts packing lunch for the next day. So it used to be a running joke, and I mean, it still kind of is, but he doesn't have as many days off right now. It used to be I would look in the fridge when I got home from work, and if his lunch wasn't packed, it meant he had the next day off. And I was like, oh, you didn't pack? Oh, I guess you're off tomorrow. But it doesn't happen as much. I don't check the fridge as often because days off aren't happening as often right now, thankfully. So I'm a lot more repetitive than Andrew is, but we're pretty repetitive. I always have a salad, so just lettuce, cucumber, croutons, chicken, and then I keep a salad dressing in the fridge at work and just put it on top when I'm ready to eat lunch. Then we have containers of veggies, so usually it's baby carrots, cucumber, mini tomatoes, cherry tomatoes, and what are they called? Radishes. I'm like, I can picture them. What are they called? I really like radishes, and sometimes we rotate between what veggies might be in there. Andrew will add peppers to his. I'm not a fan of raw pepper. Yeah. Then I will take maybe some cookies, maybe a bag of chips, maybe a thing of oatmeal, yogurt, wow, as my other item, or, a muffin, banana bread, something else. Usually, there is usually a third item, but that third item tends to change. I always have the salad, and I always have the veggies. And really, the veggies are because of Andrew. If I had to make my own lunches, I wouldn't be having veggies in the lunch. I just don't like vegetables. Yeah. But I hated carrots for the longest time, and now it's like, okay, I can handle them. I do not like cooked carrots, but I don't mind raw carrots. Yeah, I love cucumber though. So, and my salad dressing at work is Caesar because I don't like salad, and I don't like a lot of salad dressings. I don't like vinaigrettes or anything like that. I will eat Caesar and French are really the two that I like to eat. But if I had my choice, it'd be or cucumber. I do like the creamy cucumber. But yeah, so Very, very basic. Whereas Andrew will like have a sandwich, or he'll cook breakfast, like, you know, scrambled eggs and some sort of meat and a hash brown, and just put it in a container and reheat it. Or he will take leftovers from like supper the night before or something to work. Whereas I'm good with the salad. So yeah, that's our lunches. Okay. Indigo Isle. I have mixed thoughts on this. As I was saying before, I did not like Sunny at the beginning. Like, she just forced herself on this island, ignored the no trespassing signs, and just kind of made herself at home. And Hudson was like a recluse and trying to stay away from people, and she really forced him to interact with her to a certain extent. I mean, there was times he hid. But then as kind of it progressed, we get to know more about Sunny's life, how she ended up in this situation, like where she's working. She ran away from her family when she was 17 years old. And we find out a little bit more about like kind of the fracture of her family, and then what's happening in the work situation that she's at right now. And that is not a good situation at all, but she feels trapped and almost feels like she brought it on herself. And so going to Indigo Isle, where Hudson is kind of her escape. So I kind of felt sorry for her at that point, like when we find out what's happening to her. But it still really bothered me that she ignored Hudson's wishes to leave him alone. And then, you know, he starts to accept that she's going to be here and going to talk to me and going to make me interact with her. And then we get to know like Hudson's background of why he is living on this island by himself and kind of how he ended up there. And his story is tragic. And so that kind of really, I liked Hudson. I don't understand what drew Hudson to Sunny and kind of how they end up together. Like, I didn't understand it, because if I was Hudson, I'd be really, really annoyed with her. And yeah. So, and I really liked the reunion that happened, the way it was done. It felt very, very realistic. There are some family members that are like, you ignored us for so many years, you know, I don't want to talk to you right now, kind of thing. I don't want to deal with you. And others is like, oh, you finally returned home. Like, there's a prodigal son, so prodigal daughter story in this. But so the family reactions felt very, very realistic. And I liked the friendship that grew between Sunny and a couple other people, and like I really enjoyed that. But there were just parts of it that just, Sunny is now 32, I want to say, and I understand she's in a hard spot, but also make better choices in a way. So I don't know. I think the fact that she ignored Hudson's wishes so much at the beginning really bothered me. But there was some fun moments about it. This would be hard for people who have experienced like unfair treatment in the workplace, or how do I explain that without saying exactly what it is? There are some things that might be really hard to read that happens. There is drinking that happens. What happens when you get drunk, and there's the line, nothing good happens after midnight, and that kind of leads into, so like there's some really hard topics discussed. Nothing is really, really descriptive. Like, you don't see it, you just know it. And it's not praised, let's say that, right? Like, it is dealt with. So there are some really tough stuff, but there's some really good stuff and a lot of like learning. Like, Sunny definitely grows from the beginning of the book to the end of the book. Like, she's definitely learned to accept her mistakes and kind of try to right her wrongs. and move forward as her own person. So like I really liked Sunny at the end, and the epilogue is really sweet, kind of gives you an insight into the future, which I kind of liked. I do have a quote to share, which I've marked the page with my bookmark, and it talks about grace. I learned something important a long time ago about grace and mercy. Grace is God giving us what we don't deserve, and mercy is Him not giving us what we do deserve. So yeah, like I just thought that was really nice. So I'm gonna give it a 3.5 stars, and I think I will be unhauling this. I don't think I would reread it again. I would try more of her books though. This has not turned me off of the author. Because I mean, I was fully invested in Sunny by, I don't know, well, probably halfway through I was fully invested in Sunny. So yeah, that is my thoughts on Indigo Isle. This morning for my audiobook, I didn't even grab it. Gotta fix my blanket. I started A Memory Between Us by Sarah Sundin. This is book 2 of the Wings of Glory series. I do not have another book that's on my February TBR on audio. So then I was like, okay, what can I get to start? I thought, well, I might as well continue a series I started in January. And this particular book, A Memory Between Us, is the book from this series that is on my rereads bingo board. So then I would get a sticker for this one once I finish it. So I have just started. We are following Jack, who is a brother of Walt from book 1. We know a little bit about him. He's also a pilot, but we don't know a ton. And at this point in time, he's being injured and he's in the hospital, and he has just met somebody who I assume is going to be the love interest in this one, if I remember correctly. And she is a nurse, and we'll see what happens. I do not remember much about this book at all. So we'll see. I have a couple ideas in my head, but we'll see. It's now 1943, and he's in England. And I will update you once I get a little bit further. I don't even know. I'm probably only a couple chapters because I only listened to it as I was getting ready for work this morning. So that's it. But before I forget, this was a 26 and 26 book. So there's my sticker. Where's the actual... Get my collection of cards. So I can put that prompt card in here because now I've read it. And here is the actual card with the scratch. So where's my coin? Okay, I'm gonna scratch and find out where it goes on my board. Do I show you? I have the right tripod for my camera today to show you, so let me do that. Okay, let's scratch. And where does this one go? So, number 8, can you see that? Move my book. Oh, it's in the same line as another one. So, 2 in that line and 2 in that line. These guys are still empty. Okay, that is the board update for right now. Well, it's another after work check-in. It is Friday, yay! But we have a busy weekend this weekend, and I will be back here Sunday. So last night I started A Change of Heart by Madisyn Carlin. I think that's the name. Here's the cover. I'm reading it on my Kindle. I've got it through Kindle Unlimited, and it is the Fairytale retelling, and on the description it says it's a fantasy retelling of Cinderella. And I'm like, I'm not sure about this because it's fantasy. But I'm only 5 chapters in, I think is where I got to last night, and it hasn't really felt like, it felt very real place setting, other than it's set in a kingdom, which a lot of times that does seem fantasy when I think of kingdoms. However, I mean, like, could it just be the royal kingdom in England, like with William and Kate, and right, like that could be real world settings. So we'll see, other than the police carry swords, which is a little bit different. But other than that, it seems okay so far. I think it's a little bit weird that right now God is being referred to as creator. And I don't know why that feels weird to me, because God is the creator. So I don't know why that felt weird when I read it. I'm just not used to reading it that way, maybe. And then for my audiobook, I'm continuing in A Memory Between Us. I was thinking book 3. I'm pretty sure book 2 is A Memory Between Us. I'm reading book 2. We're following Major Jack Novak and Lieutenant Ruth Doherty, I think is her name. Ruth for sure, because Jack has encouraged her to read the book of Ruth. Yeah, so we're following them right now, kind of their initial meeting and what's going on. I'm only 14% with the way through it right now. It is in England. Jack is being injured. He met Ruth at the hospital. Ruth is a nurse and trying to send money home for her siblings, because they're living with relatives right now because their parents have passed away. And we'll see what happens. I'm intrigued to see kind of the friendship bloom and how it goes. So those are my 2 current books right now. I'm gonna go home, and I don't know what's on the agenda for tonight, other than we need to wrap our friend's retirement gift. It did come in, but they've been away and we're getting together with them tomorrow. So tomorrow will be the time we can wrap it. So I will show you it, because I didn't want to show it in a vlog before we actually gave it to her, because what if she watches the video? Like, I couldn't risk that. I don't know how often she watches the videos, so I didn't want to risk it. So I will show you that. So I do need to wrap that tonight, and then supper tonight is just leftover sloppy joe meat from last night that I had in the slow cooker. I've been asked to share some of my slow cooker recipes, but I don't have where I initially got them from, because I've retyped them out to like what I want, like for Canadian can size, because a lot of my recipes I find are American and our cans don't come in that size or whatever, right? So I've typed them out that, okay, I need this size of can, which based on what we sell in Canada. And I did put it down below kind of the website, but that's it. So I'd really have to search on the website to try to find it. And I haven't sat down and done that, but we really like this sloppy joe one. And this one I've actually not quite doubled. I've 1.5'd it so that we have enough meat for leftovers, which is so weird because there is only 2 of us and most meals are supposed to feed 4. So I shouldn't have to double a recipe to get leftovers, but sometimes I do. Maybe we just really like it and eat more than the average serving, which I'm okay with. So yeah, that is my check-in for now. I'm gonna head home. As promised, here is the pillow we got our friend. She is a huge cat person. They actually have 3 cats in their house, and she wants to bring them all home, basically, when she goes and sees any, at like an adoption agency or anything. And it's, what day is today? Who cares? I'm retired. So I'm gonna wrap this up. Well, it is Saturday afternoon. I mean, it's 12 o'clock afternoon, and I don't know where this morning went. Got up, watched a bit of YouTube, watched some of the Olympics, got ready for the day. We paid some bills, had a quick bite to eat, and we are heading out to get together with friends for this afternoon and then supper tonight. And we'll see how that goes. It's kind of, we're going to an information session about a history of stuff. But I'm like, I'm not sure how I feel about that, but we'll see how it goes. But it's just this morning I looked at the clock and I was like, wow, it has flown by. And so I didn't get any reading done this morning, and I read very little last night because I was watching the opening ceremonies for the Olympics because I wanted to see the athletes walk in. So I did see that, and then I went onto YouTube to try to reply to some comments, and their comments aren't there that I know were there. Because, like, I remember seeing notifications come in while I was at work, and somebody said about, like, the scrapbook that I showed in the video. Somebody asked me what we eat for lunch. Somebody made a comment about all the headaches I've been dealing with recently. Like, there was few comments. But because I saw them at work, and I was only on my phone because I needed, the authentication code for work stuff that, everything needs now is the 4-digit codes, which is why I had picked up my phone and saw it, but so I couldn't reply at that time. And then when I go to reply, they're not there. And I don't know where they went. And I'm like, well, that's really annoying because now it looks like I haven't replied, but I can't reply because I don't have them. YouTube, what is going on? So I'm trying my best today to reply to the comments as soon as I see them come in, just in case they disappear as well. But we'll see because now we're heading out, so I don't know if I will be able to. But yeah. Oh well, it is freezing cold here, like -21 this morning before the wind chill in Celsius. Just freezing. It is not blowing though, the sun's shining, so we'll see what it's like out of town, but I will check in later. Well, it is Sunday evening now, and it's about 8:15, and I thought I would check in for the day. So yesterday we got home pretty late. Well, pretty late. I would say around 11 o'clock, I would say, give or take. So we went out of town with friends, went to a presentation at the History Museum or History Center. I think it's History Center in the community we went to. And just learned history of that community. Our friend grew up in that community, so that's why she wanted to go to kind of hear more about it. And the person doing the talk was somebody she went to high school with. So then we went over to her cousin's place who lives in the community for supper. And so we had supper, and Judy made homemade burgers, and they were so good. And some dessert. Andrew played with her dogs, so there was a clip of that probably before. Maybe I'll put it after. I don't know. We'll see where I put it. And so it was a pretty good day. Then today was a busy day. I had church, and then we had children, youth worker, vulnerable adults training after church. So I didn't get home till like mid-afternoon. Then I was done. I was tired. So I read a little bit and watched the Olympics. And at some point I fell asleep and had supper. And now I've been working on reading, watching a little bit more of the Olympics. And now I have Krista's sprints on because kind of what they're showing on the Olympics now is partially what was this afternoon, because now it's like overnight time in Italy. So like it's a repeat, events aren't going on. And so I saw some of the stuff that they're showing. So that's why I'm reading. Some of the stuff I haven't seen. So then I break and watch. So the TV's on. That's why kind of lighting is changing, if you're noticing that. So what am I reading? I am continuing in A Change of Heart by Madisyn Carlin. This is on my Kindle. It is a Cinderella retelling. And our main characters are not the Cinderella storyline. They're kind of assisting the prince and the Cinderella type girl to try to get together. I'm noticing a little bit of fantasy in it, that we're dealing with a kingdom, territory. We have a prince who's holding a ball. So, I mean, there's a bit. The police detective carries a sword. So there's a little bit of fantasy in there, but not a ton. Like, it's very light. So yeah, I'm not fully connected with the characters. I think I'm more kind of concerned about the Cinderella character than the main characters, because she's not in a great situation, just like Cinderella. She has a stepmother who's treating her like a servant, and so, like, not a great situation. And then we have the main two characters. We have the detective, who is being assigned to be the bodyguard for Joe, the baker, who works for her family bakery, wants to take over the bakery eventually, and is really, really stubborn and doesn't need a man around to help her, and she's been attacked a number of times. But I don't know how that part of the storyline ties in with the Cinderella part of the storyline. So we'll see what's going on. Like, how is it all going to connect? Because, like, Caden, the detective, has been assigned because there's been a bunch of robberies and threats on Joe. Now, the robberies seem to be a little bit separate right now, but I'm not 100% sure. I am 64% of the way through, and I'm still not 100% sure what exactly is going on. And there is, like, we changed scenes, and it seems very jumpy at times. I was like, wait, what? Where are we now? And there was one, we ended a chapter and then started another chapter, and it said it was at the precinct, like at the police, at the detective office, and it was two detectives talking, and they're like, well, that brand doesn't match anything we've been able to find. What brand? For what? What are they researching? Like, I was like, I have no idea what they're talking about. And then as we dig a little bit more, I'm like, oh, I think that's from one of the robberies, but it wasn't really described. Like, so I'm not fully on board. I'm a little bit confused, but I'm going to continue in to see what's going to happen, because, as I said, I'm intrigued with the Cinderella character and what is going to happen there. So I'm 64% the way through. It says on my Kindle, it says I have an hour and 15 minutes left. So we'll see. Can I finish this tonight? I'm hoping to wrap this up in this vlog, so I don't want to end the vlog until I finish the book, or it becomes I'm going to bed for the night. So we will see. So I'm going to get back to reading, and I will let you know. Well, it is much later now. It's shortly after 10:30, and I finished A Change of Heart by Madisyn Carlin. So I have mixed thoughts on this book. I still think the writing style was a bit choppy, changing between scenes. About the last 30%-ish, I would say. So shortly after I checked in, then something happens, and it's kind of like, okay, what's going to be the outcome of that, and how is it going to be resolved? And so then I was invested in trying to figure it out. But then, like, when the resolution happened, it was like, well, how did we get there? How did they figure that out? What? But I do like the way it wrapped up with the two main characters and the way their relationship evolved from the beginning of the story to the end of the story, and kind of what happened with the Cinderella character. But the Cinderella character is really a side plot, not really mentioned. Like, we know a bit, but then we don't see how the resolution really happens for her. But yeah. What else? Both of our characters are struggling with trying to prove themselves to their family and don't think their family is proud of them, but yet others see how the family is proud of them. and they try to tell them that, like, so-and-so talks about you this way, and so-and-so talks about you this way. And so I did like that. I just didn't connect with the characters the way I wanted to connect with them. But I think there's a couple things. I mean, it is fairy tale or fantasy for sure, because we're in a kingdom. And there's just a few elements that definitely gave it the fantasy feeling. And I don't read a ton of fantasy, so it wasn't really my typical genre to begin with. And I don't read a ton of fairy tale retellings, so that wasn't my genre either. So I stepped outside of my comfort zone and read a true fairy tale retelling in a fantasy for Taylor's February readathon. And I can mark off, I don't know which prompt I will fulfill for sure yet, but it fulfills a fairy tale retelling prompt. And it fulfills the fairy tale retelling prompt for my own Christian fiction bingo for February. So, I mean, that's great. I could also use it for my heart's prompt, heart in the title, but I have another book I'm starting next week that will fulfill that one instead. Yeah, so it is book 1 of a series. I know that book 2 follows a sister that we met in this book, but personally, I don't plan on continuing the series. I'm giving the book 3 stars because it did keep me intrigued at times, and it wasn't like a bad book. It just didn't keep my interest and wasn't for me. So I'm going to wrap up the week here. I do not know how much footage I got this week because I haven't even looked at the clips and started editing, so I have no idea. That will be tomorrow night's problem. But this week I did finish 2 books, and they were both retelling books. So the book I finished earlier this week was Indigo Isle by T.I. Lowe, which I also gave 3.5 stars to. It's a Beauty and the Beast retelling. And there were some good aspects of it, but some that just kind of annoyed me a little bit. And it was a bit of a heavier story than I really expected, which was what I'm fine with. Like, I don't mind reading heavier stories. And I knew very little going into this book, but I think just the character of Sunny, I just wasn't fully. But I talked about this book earlier in the vlog, so I'm not going to kind of repeat what I've said. Then I started A Memory Between Us by Sarah Sundin as my audiobook. I only started this Thursday, and I only listened to it Thursday and Friday before work, so I haven't made it very far at all. I am 62 pages in, chapter 8. So we've met our main characters, we've seen them interact, and that's about it so far. I will be continuing this one next week. So that was my reading for the week. Yeah, I have nothing else to say at this time. Thank you for taking the time to watch this video today, and I hope you have a great week and stay tuned for future videos. Thank you. Bye. I just went to go get ready for bed, and I remembered I wanted to say something else. Last night when we got home, all my comments on my YouTube video came back, so I was able to respond to them. I have no idea what happened, but I was so thankful because I was really annoyed. I'm like, I know I did not dream about these comments. So yeah, that was it. Okay, I am signing off now, and I want to wish you all a good week.